dance performance coming up. And after that, we will have Virashaivism in America panel discussion led by Trishul and Varun. Um, we would like the youth panelists and the adult panelists to be ready. Thank you.
Namaskar. My name is Rohan Patil. Wow, that was an amazing performance, and I'm not just saying that because my sister was in that performance. Next up, we have a dance choreographed by Shin Shinal Sharif and choreographed by Miss Asha Acharya Adiga. This dance features Apurva Reddy. I present to you Kodagana Koli Nungita.
Hello. Thank you, Apurva, for that wonderful performance. Let's give her another round of applause. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ namaste, ಮತ್ತೆ ಶರಣು. I hope you've all had a safe journey into Dallas and are enjoying the convention so far. We will soon begin the Virashaivism in America discussion, an event that grew out of feedback from both the youth and adult members of our community. Across the board, it has been requested to have a discussion in order to understand Virashaivism better as it pertains to us living as 21st century Americans. We know that Basawana fought for a casteless, egalitarian society in Kalyana 800 years ago. What principles and lessons from his struggle can we use today in the US of A? What is the role of the dispersed Virashaiva community in America as compared to what it was in Kalyana, to what it is in Karnataka today? The purpose of this event is to delve into some of those questions. Veerashaivism is a religion of thoughtfulness, meaning it requires deep thinking. The Anubhava Mantapa was not founded as an institution to devise a philosophy that people should blindly follow, but as a tool for wise Sharanas to philosophically explore the existential questions of life. We can say Kaya Kave Kailasa, we can say Kalabeda Kolabeda. But if we do not think about it any more than that, if we leave it as just hollow words, how can they really be meaningful to us? If we deeply believe that work is worship, as stated in Kaya Kave Kailasa, we must know what that means in and out. We must know the answer to questions like, does working hard at anything mean you are worshiping the Lord? Does the motivation behind that work matter? Is a doctor who practices to earn money worshiping the same way as a doctor who practices for the sake of his or her patients? Kalabeda Kolabeda is a vachana that teaches us basic principles of life that we should not have to think about. Not killing, stealing, and cheating should go without saying. Though it is necessary to hear it aloud every now and then, we must look beyond these givens if we are to devise a framework for life that will make us happy. There is much more to Veerashaivism that we must remember and uphold every day. We cannot afford to be superficial with the motivating ideas behind our lives. In order to be true Veerashaivas, we must also think, not blindly follow. What is the type of life we would like to live and the type of society we would like to build? And how can a deep understanding of the medieval vachanas help us today? By the end of this convention, we hope that you will all have a better feeling for what it means to be a Veerashaiva in America. We realize, however, that this is a discussion that people can have different opinions and that those differences may be especially stark across the age groups. To ensure that all opinions are heard, we are splitting the room into two circles of discussion, one for the adults and one for the youth. When I am finished speaking, I request all the youth present, and if you identify as a youth, to go to the back of the auditorium and take a seat at those tables. We request all of them to go to that side, on the other side of the convention hall, and we will have our discussion there. I request all the adults to remain in this part of the hallway, and Varun and Southern California's Varun Mandi will be moderating the discussion for the adults. At the conclusion of the event, Varun and I will return to the stage and present a brief summary of what we heard in each circle so that our whole community can understand each other. Without any further delay, let's divide the room. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. We'll give the youth a few minutes to get to the other side of the hall. But other than that, just to give you all an idea of what we're doing here, in addition to what Trishul said, is we're all talking today, and if everyone could take a seat, that would be excellent. But today here, we've gathered to discuss. So again, this is ideally going to be a safe environment where we're going to be asking questions mainly about what it means to be a Veerashaiva in America. And we want to hear what the adults have to say to this set of questions. Trishul is going to hear what the youth have to say to this set of questions, and then we're going to compare and contrast, just so everyone can understand what the generational view on Veerashaivism is. So that being said, we're going to have a set of mics. If anyone has a response to the question, anyone wants to share a life experience, a vachana, really anything, then go ahead and raise your hand, and I'll bring it over to you. And again, please be civil, that's implied. So with that, the first question is very general. How is Veerashaivism relevant to you in America? And are there any recent experiences you've had in which it's easier to identify the impact of Lingayatism on your life? Any experiences in which you have felt that this is a moment when you were a true Lingayata? No one? No one. Okay. And this can be very informal, no need to be very like formal and polished.
Yeah, I felt really so many, because I'm a Veerashaiva. Oh, because I'm a Veerashaiva, since my childhood, my mother trained me to Linga Puja and all that. That's fine. But after I came to America, I had really tough time dealing with American society and our life here. And then, I felt so. Hard sometimes. Then I told my husband once, I want to be a Christian so that they will guide me and then they will talk to me and all that. Then he said, that's okay, but what you do is before you go to church, go read the books I have in the room and then start with something and let me know after you finish it. Then I started to read. Then it was not, that's kind of, then I found, flipping the papers, I found one vachana, Prabhudevar vachana. Hariva nadige, mayela kalu, uriva kichige, uriva kichige, bayela, and that made a lot of sense. I was thinking the whole day, and then it was interesting. I was reading more and more. Then I was so much interested. Then I felt I have missed so much. I read the whole book of Basavanna from childhood. He was born until the end, Lingaikya. Then I was really reformed Veerashaiva. Plus, I started practice in my behavior, thinking of others. And always thinking good in others. Huh? Okay. All right. Always thinking of good in someone else. They are also there. That's how I was started to feel. Yeah. And then I really felt good, and then all my environment around me, I felt like very pure and nice, and I met nice people. And then, okay.
A bit closer.
All right. And then I was doing, homeless, once a year I was doing homeless. And then I had a lot of volunteers. I acquired a lot of volunteers. When I was doing the homeless for Gandhi Jayanti, I felt the volunteers were they were angels, because they came with such a good heart, and people who were earning less money, they were giving $5, $10. That I felt like they were giving me $1,000, because that was so hard-earned money, and they were so much interested in giving it to poor people. So that made me so happy, and I really try to have Basavanna's vachanas in my life, and I try to ಏನಂದರೆ ಆಚರಿಸೋದು. Not only just reading and living it, but I am trying to practice in my life, and I can say I am successful most of the time, but I fall back sometimes again. I go back to the wrong side, then again I read vachanas, then I pray to him, please guide me always so he can stay in my heart. So I invite him in my heart, Ishtalinga. So thank you.
And that's a really good point. Before we move on to the next person, I actually had a few questions for you, if we could dig a bit deeper into your story, if you don't mind. First of all, I was wondering, you mentioned you were tempted to convert to Christianity or go to church. Since this is also a discussion on what it means to come to America, how do you feel that was a move to become more accepted, to become better integrated in society? And are you glad that you didn't make that move today?
No, I felt that, but my husband was also guided me. I have always Veerashaiva, but you see, we don't have anybody sit here and tell, do this, do this. In Christianity, in the priest, whoever it is, on Sundays he tells you, he touches everyday life to people, how to be good to others, or how to earn, how to control your anger, how to control your anger, and how, all that he explains it. In Veerashaivism, you don't have anybody to do that. But through vachanas, I taught myself. Then I always wanted a guru because I wanted to learn all these things. I was searching for guru. Whenever some Swamiji came here and all, I thought maybe I will get something. But from Swamijis, I did not get anything. Then finally, I realized guru is yourself. Your knowledge is the guru. Reading vachanas, I'm trying to dwell on it for a while and discuss with my husband. Then I found real guru. He was in myself. So my Ishtalinga itself is my guru. So that's it.
So, so you would say that when you talk about Guru Linga Jangama, etc.,
Yes.
you argue that the Guru is in fact within yourself,
Yes,
and that's
exactly,
the strongest form.
exactly.
Okay.
Guru Linga Jangama, everything is in myself. It is my feeling. It will make you grow and reach that final stage. I haven't reached the final stage of oneness, but once I did, but I had to come back to the life here again because I have samsara. I had to cook, I had to clean, I had to take it. So all that I have. So what happens, I have less time, but when I am calm, I try to mingle with that power. It's not seen, but you can feel the power. Couple times I felt that power, and it gave me such a happiness, and I felt so peaceful, and it is awesome to explain. I felt him. I felt the Lord Shiva. He was there for me. He was there, and it was awesome. Everywhere I felt peace, peace, peace. It was wonderful experience. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶರಣು ಶರಣಾರ್ಥಿ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರಭಾಕರ್ ಅಂತ ಟೊರೊಂಟೊ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಿಂದ. The crying need of the hour has been, as you all know, the ills that has been perpetuated in the name of religion. You know what I mean. One vachana of Basavanna is very applicable to eliminate this scrout that's happening. ಉಳ್ಳವರು ಶಿವಾಲಯ ಮಾಡುವರು, ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಲ ಬಡವನಯ್ಯ, ಎನ್ನೆ ಕಾಲೆ ಕಂಬ, ಎನ್ನ ಶಿರವೆ ದೇಗುಲ ಹೊನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎನ್ನ ಶಿರವೆ ಹೊನ್ನ ಕಳಸವಯ್ಯ, ಸ್ಥಾವರ ಕಳುವುಂಟು ಜಂಗಮ ಕಳುವಿಲ್ಲ. This is very relevant. Blindly following the dogma as proposed in the 6th century by Muhammad. I agree, Muhammad is a great prophet. But at that time, this was quite possible. The need of the time was to protect the women folk being abused or exploited. So perhaps at that time, it was incumbent upon him to say that one has to cover up oneself so that the evil eyes may not fall upon him. That's why Basavanaru said that Jangamaki Alavilla Saur Kalivintu. One who stands in dogmatic fashion perishes. One who is progressive in thinking will never, you have to change with the times. So that's very relevant to what is happening today in the society. All religions should reform themselves, including Hinduism. Hinduism is a great religion, but it has its own. The Brahminism is very bad. I'm not saying Brahmins are bad, but Basavana was against the Brahminism, not the Brahmins. And again, if you take the one, when he talks about the temple, what Basavana meant was, just like if you want to keep your temple clean and hygienic, so also by considering yourself as a temple, you have to keep your mind with pure thoughts. The evil thoughts should not come in. Just you have to protect the sanctity of the temple, you have to protect the sanctity of your thinking and realize God that way. So these are very relevant things. So one vachana by itself can really elaborate, really illuminate the people as to how religion should reform and change the times. And this was the greatest contribution Basavana could, and what we as Vireshwara could do, impart this meaning of the vachanas to our friends and colleagues in all communities in North America.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And before Anu auntie, could we stick here? Yes. No, keep the mic here, please.
Okay.
Question.
Oh, this is a question?
Yes, so I'm asking a question.
Counterpoint.
So you mentioned that every religion needs to have that aspect of reform, changing, being contemporary to the times. Is there anything specific you can think of in terms of Virashaivism? What are more specific things you want to see as a Virashaiva done in the community?
There is accusations that we Lingoites tied Baswana in four corners of ourselves. You had to expose Baswana to the entire universe. You call ourselves as a universal dharma, but you have failed to spread that the Virashaiva principles to the entire world. The accusation said that you own Baswana. You don't own Baswana. The whole world owns Baswana. So you have to make extra effort to not only to have these conventions to Virashaivas, anybody who's interested to attend the convention, if you encourage them to come and participate and expose them what we stand for.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.